What is up, guys? I'm Guildarts, and today I'll be talking about the new content that's going to be in this second flight of MCC, which is split up into 2 weekends. I know I did a previous video was a 1 hour and 20 minutes. This video is going to be breaking down all of that and telling you what you need to focus on in this flight. So BTB is going to be in the second weekend, but they might change the dates for it since they are having a little problem currently that they're currently fixing on. We haven't been updated on what's currently going on, and so they might get delayed and it might not. So they will inform us on if it's going to be delayed or not. So currently we have the new new content that's being in this flight. It's going to have all the stuff from the previous flight, but it's going to have some new customization, some new content, a new 4v4 map, and the BTB map fragmentation, as you can see right now, coming in the upcoming days. So in this flight, they show off the new content.
All right, we're back.
So as you see here, the new content is we finally get to see the first feature of the shock rifle.
And, graphics folks have been working so that's nice to see. So here we are.
The shock weapon is a 5-round burst precision weapon that does arc damage. So you have 2 enemies standing right next to each other, about 5 feet apart, is that you're aiming at one, is that it will do kinetic damage, as in it will pass from your target to another target. So it does they call it arc damage, so it's going to go bounce off anything. So you can bounce off vehicles, objectives, walls. So you can literally just aim it and it will do it won't do as the same damage as the first target, but it will do damage. So as you can see up top here.
All right, here we go.
So one of the cool things
it doesn't spawn over here.
Close enough together, you can actually arc
it
damage
went
and
for both of them.
Multiple people.
Yeah, I'm not doing good. Don't watch my POV.
So what I'm going to do here is just set up this arc.
Look at it.
It went between all those enemies that were close enough together. So now after that is that they have improved the sniper rifle. Is that when you scope in, the sight is now better. Instead of being this giant reticle here, it's now smaller. So that's an improvement, and also I believe the handling is better. And as you can see, we also have loading screens.
They dynamically crouch now, which they did it before. So it's not.
So we have the new loading screen. I don't know if this is we're only having one loading screen, but I believe we are also getting. Hopefully we're getting more loading screens, but they are pretty good.
Horizontal plane.
And also we have some more customization. I'm gonna go here.
And here we are on Behemoth, which is a 4v4
we finally get to
arena
use the Mark 7 Keystone helmet. Also, we have, hopefully in this flight, we actually get to use the UI for full customization. As in, we get to pick nameplates, which are tied in with the emblems, the backdrop, which is this decal behind it, and we get to customize the full part of the gamer tag. So, as in your gamer tag, not your gamer tag, your service tag, sorry about that. And also, I would like to point out that Behemoth is not a 4v4 and BTB map. It is singly a 4v4 map. So a lot of people are confused since it had vehicles on it, is that vehicles are returning in Big Team Battle. And currently, is that in this flight, you have options to, outside of the PvP and Bot Slayer thresholds, is that we are going to be only available to have full customization, and we can do training mode. So training mode is basically a unlimited, no time limit Bot Slayer arena match that is currently solo only, and you have the select maps being the 3 we had for the previous fight. And on Sunday, they are going to add Behemoth. And you can basically see here is that we get to finally use vehicles. So we get to mess with the handling, the driving. And also in this is that you can actually have multiple customization options on unlimited ammo, which counts for grenades and equipment. And we get to use these new type of grenades called Dynamo Grenades. Originally, we were going to call them shock grenades, which are like these electric grenades. They were called Dynamo Grenades, which are named after from a movie called The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. One of these stalkers, who was one of these champions hunters that stalked down the runners, and one of them was called Dynamo, who used electricity. And in that movie, he's called a Christmas tree by Arnie. And you get to actually customize your loadout, so you can actually spawn in with a sniper rifle, can have no death, like you cannot die, have all these options. So you can see we have customization, how many friendly bots are going to be set to 3 and enemy bots to 4, so you can't have 4 allies or make your own BTB match. And they have a new bot for multiplayer is the recruit bot. So in Bot Slayer, it's going to be randomized, so you won't have ODST bots, a playlist, or a Spartan playlist. Is that they are going to be mixed matched together. As you see, that was a Dynamo Grenade, and the bots don't know how to deal with vehicles yet, so that's what this fight is about. So they're going to have the new intel on how vehicles interact with them, so that's going to be good. And you can also see that you can actually see the outlines for the enemies, and the players are improved, so they're not as bright as they were in the previous fight. So you can actually see the armor coatings, which is actually a plus. And you can also see that the bots are no longer solid blue. They now have their own color schemes. And also they have randomized armor. So most likely they use your personal data, or they use random armor sets. So you can see, like, you can spawn with the Gravity Hammer, Rocket Launcher, and also I believe there's a bug here, and I think people are going to notice it right here, is that the Rocket Launcher seems nerfed. Like, it doesn't do as much damage anymore, because is that you would usually, like, you would have splash damage, and I'll try to find this shot of it, is that you can clearly see that it would do a lot more damage. I believe it's right here. Nope. I'm trying to find it. Sorry. No, I think it was... Yeah, sorry. So, right here. Is that you clearly see that would be a triple, but he only gets 1. So the rocket is kind of nerfed, and I believe it's going to get buffed after this, because a lot of people have noticed that. Is that, so there's a thing called play fighting, is that your enemies, like the enemy bots, will have movement, but they won't shoot at you. So you won't take any damage. It's basically, you're shooting at moving targets. So that's what that is, and so we finally get to see, as here's another shot of fragmentation, and they also have this map actually has sound, like actual like wind blowing, trees crumbling, rocks falling, and right here is basically, this is the flag marker. So when you play Capture Flag, which you'll see in a bit, is that your team's flag is placed here. But when you go to turn in your flag, you turn it at your base. So this is basically your objective markers. So basically for capture the flag, it's going to be this. And I think this actually looks pretty cool. And there also is like some small animals roaming around on the ground. You can't see them in this shot, but we saw one in a later shot. And you can see, like, you can hear the rocks falling. And you basically hear everything. And so basically the icons will change to your color. So basically in the center right here is basically where the flag spawns, and the bases are marked with the team names. So you have Eagle and Cobra on the opposite ends, and you see we have the Plasma Fusion Coil, which is the blue one, and also you have some other equipment on here. So equipment works differently, is that you have double the amount of uses you have from 4v4, as see a repulsor spawns here. So how they work is that in 4v4 you'll have 3 uses with the grapple shot, and in BTB you have 5 uses. So that is how they're balancing it from different between 4v4 and 12v12. And also in this fight you can see we have a new weapon to use, which is the Disruptor, which is the shock pistol, which they didn't really talk about, but it's right there. And you can also see they have the weapon pods drop in. And in this fight, you can also, in the training mode, which is going to be outside of the multiplayer modes, like the multiplayer flights, is that you can actually customize, actually literally take off bots and just walk around the map to get used to it, and actually take in like the art design and everything. So right here you get to see CTF, which is capture the flag, on fragmentation. And a lot of people had a question on how the loading screen will do, is that it does the intro for the 4 players closest to you. Or I believe it's also going to be the 4 players in your party, most likely. As you can also see that we also have player emblems, which basically takes the emblem from your nameplate and puts it on. And you also see we can finally use the Mark 7. I just now noticed this, but we also have more glove options, which is new. And looks like we also get more chest equipment, so I'm guessing they finally added those into the battle pass. So, and also you can see that vehicles are spawning in, but it's only the Warthog and Mongoose. I believe also the Gungoose is going to also spawn, but it's basically the standard vehicles, and vehicles that spawn that are dropped in via Pelican are power vehicles. So the Banished Ghost, Scorpion Tank, Wraith, Wasp, Banshee, and many more if they seem to add more into the vehicle sandbox. The Rocket Hog being one of them, and you can see that is a Dynamo Grenade, which basically acts like the power drain from Halo 3. So, if you have Vietnam flashbacks of that, there you go. So you can see it stripped almost all of their shields. And also you can see the improvement of the player outlines. Also in this fight, the Needler has its new sound in, and it sounds amazing. So you can see we have now emblems. So basically that's all that's in this fight, is that we haven't really seen, is that we only got this BTB match, and that was it. We didn't really get the new customization options, the challenges. They didn't really show that off yet. So we're most likely going to have to basically just watch gameplay or streams of it, people playing it, And it's most likely the people streaming it are going to be in the United States, because the people in the UK and other countries won't have enough playtime in it, so it's mainly kind of focused on the US servers. But hopefully with them delaying it, they now realize that what they want to do is that within, like, they are going to have 8 hours a day, but it's going to be split into 2 sections of 4 hours, which is kind of bad, like, for other people in other countries. Is that it would have been better if they just opened it up for like 12 hours. That's what I would just do, is open it for 12 hours, like from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it would just last longer, and you have like all that time in between. It's like, it would just work way better. And it's like also gives people a lot of time to actually, like, I know it's gonna be on a weekend, so it's kind of like the hours they picked are weird. It's kind of like a weird shift, because you want to play with someone. So basically, explain, it's kind of terrible for people who want to play with their friends. Is that you'll have one friend in the United States, and you have one friend who lives in Germany who end up playing, and like they won't be able to play together since the time zones are different. Is that it will be 2 p.m. here and it will be like 5 a.m. there. So, see what I'm saying? Is that I wish they just opened it like the previous flight and just let us play. And they got a lot of feedback from it. But, and also they're adding every insider that was fully signed up from the 13th. And they got a lot of feedback and a lot of stuff correctly on it. Is that them condensing it down to 4 hours, I know they want to stress test the servers, but them doing that, it's like, it would have been better just to open all of it. But they chose to do that. And also, one of the new content is these kind of 2 caves, or what they call loot caves, are these 2 new like these 2 areas on a map that use your personal AI to hack the door open, and they're called loot caves. So as you can see right here is on fragmentation, this is one of the loot caves, and you insert your personal AI, who has to take, I believe, 10 seconds to actually unlock it. And it has power weapons, power equipment, so overshield is in this one. Also gravity hammer, and they do respawn over time, so it has to like reset after no one has entered it. And as you can see, gravity hammer and overshield is in this. And you basically can exit it when no one opens it, is that it resets over a certain time, and you basically can use it on the map. So that's basically all that's in this current flight. Is that they also talk about the new game mode called Total Control, which is basically take 3 objectives that you have to capture at the same time to score 1 point, and after you score that point, new locations are selected and you have to capture them, those 3 points, at the exact same time. So you have to make sure you control. So basically there's A, B, and C. Then you need to capture A, B, and you're working on C, but you have to make sure you have A and B still controlled. The moment you capture C, you score a point, the objectives change, and you have to do it again 3 times in total to score 3 points, and you win the game. And you can see right now, there is no flagnum. And also, it gives you a notification by music every point you score. So that is basically all that's in this flight. So please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.